Major off-season implications as the Jacksonville Jaguars fly to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, who just lost on Monday Night Football. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Week 16 matchup between the Jags and Raiders. But before we do that, if you like the content that we put out and you're also looking forward to a lot of 2025 offseason, hit that subscribe button and also tackle that bell to get notified when we release new videos. And while you're at it, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win this game and why. And also who you want each team to draft with their first overall pick. Because that is going to be, I think, why I'm really excited for this game. Because as of right now, the Jags and the Raiders are two of the worst teams in the league. You can throw the Giants up there maybe. Titans also possibly up there. But very rarely do we get this amazing moment where teams get to go up against one another and have serious implications on the first overall pick. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I always found these games very interesting because fan bases are like, please lose, while the players that are on the field are trying to put good film together so they can have a job next year. So it's a very awkward situation. It's kind of like when you're breaking up with somebody and then like they're moving out. But like they try to put like be nice around like your friends and family, but like they're all like, hey, like I don't know if you really want to do it. We don't really want you here. So it's kind of like that situation, and it's going to be fascinating to watch, especially too. Mac Jones had an amazing game, 31 for 46 against this Jets defense, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, very Mac Jones like. And Brian Thomas Jr. is having just a stellar season as well. 10 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. And how many receiving yards does he have on the season? 956 receiving yards as of right now, 64 catches, 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you can go and build around. And I think both of these teams are going to be very interesting, I think, on what they do in the offseason. I've been talking a lot. What are your kind of overall thoughts just on this game?
I'm rooting for the Raiders. I am a Patriots fan, and if the Raiders win, the Patriots move up a spot in the draft rankings, which gives them much more flexibility to trade back for whichever quarterback prospect falls to number 2. So the Patriots play the Bills twice and the Chargers in the final 3 weeks, so they're not winning a game. So I really want the Raiders to win. They have a chance this week and next week. They play the Saints on the road, so they could win either one of those, both of those, doesn't matter. I just want them to win one of them. And Jacksonville, I want to say they're a team that's been decimated by injuries, but I think that there's just overall organizational structure issues there as well. Like Trevor Lawrence, obviously with his injuries, like done for the year. Evan Ingram done for the year. Gabe Davis done for the year. Christian Kirk done for the year. Like a lot of offensive injuries have taken place. They traded Cam Robinson away as well. Like, so just a lot of offensive injuries and moves. So it's been a really rough year for them, but this defense just year after year continues to be a liability. They've invested in Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker. Like they cannot stop the run. They have good pass rush numbers. But other than that, like these corners can't stop anybody. This Jets offense is abysmal, and they gave up 32 points to them this past week. And so this Jags team, I really think is reeling. Also, as a Patriots fan, I'm not a Mac Jones fan, and so I just this is a rough spot for both of these teams. But yeah, major draft implications on kind of where these teams are going to be ranked going into the offseason.
Yeah. No, it's especially too with Jacksonville, and I think it's almost just a foregone conclusion now. Like I think Doug Peterson's gone. Just with the way that the season has gone, and I know there's injuries, but I also think too that's just part of the league. It's not really even too like they had that much success last year. Actually, I think they had a pretty epic collapse last year, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, they were leading the division, then they lost like 5 of their last 6 or something.
Yeah. So
lose the division in a playoff spot.
And that's what's going to be interesting with Jacksonville kind of in the offseason as well. And I'll get to the Raiders here in a second. But with Jacksonville, you got your franchise quarterback. You got a star receiver. You got a good running back room with Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. You got 2-star edge rushers. I think there's some good within the secondary that you can kind of work on. So you're coming into an organization with some of the key pieces to set up like a playoff winning team already there. And now, like, you got to work on the offensive line just in general. You do need to get some defensive tackles here as well. For Jacksonville, depending on where you guys are at, like Mason Graham, I think would be a phenomenal spot. You plug him in the middle of Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, and like I think you could get a scary defensive line very quickly in Jacksonville. But offensive line, though, like you guys need a lot of help to protect Trevor Lawrence. On the flip side, too, for the Raiders, so it's going to be very clear that they need a quarterback. It's going to be very interesting if the Raiders win this game where they end up falling, because there's really only 2 first-round quarterbacks. But I say that, though, you got your star and Brock Bowers as well. Jacoby Myers is a solid receiver. He's a consistent guy that quarterbacks can lean on normally. They've been leaning on Brock Bowers a lot this year. You got Max Crosby, who is your star defensive end. I think there's not as many weapons, I think, on the defensive side of the ball in general, but that defensive line is actually a little bit more established when healthy than compared to Jacksonville. So it's going to be interesting, I think, what happens to – and I say that too, Antonio Pierce, this is his first full year as a head coach, but are they going to move on from him after this performance this year, try and find a new head coach? Was he just a stopgap coach kind of coming into the season? That'll be very interesting, especially, too, if they get Shador and then all of the rumors of Dion potentially coming up there. That would be the media would love that, but I digress. So it's both of these teams, I think, actually have pieces that you can admire on, like, to try and build around. But yeah, this year just has not been it for obvious reasons. I think that we can see in this game specifically. I think the stars are going to shine. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have another 100+ yard receiving performance as well. I think Brock Bowers is going to have a 100+ yard receiving performance as well. Him and Desmond Ridder even did have some connections. The Falcons essentially kind of just like took Brock Bowers out of the game. Like, we're just going to double team you. It didn't like have a safety over a tight end.
It's just like gunner coverage on punt team. It's just like 2
Pretty
guys
much.
like right over them.
That's what it seemed like. It'd be like, if you're going to beat us in this like 2-minute drill, it's going to have to be with somebody else. So a lot of check downs, and Jacoby Myers had a couple of good catches. So, but I think that's going to be the thing. What's going to be really funny too is it's like neither one of these teams really have an offensive line. Like, the Raiders can't run the ball, but at the same time, though, too, Jacksonville has a worse rushing defense. So it's like, it's kind of like the opposite of rock and a hard place, you know? It's like you have the worst rushing offense going up against the worst rushing defense. Yeah. So it's kind of like being stuck between like a marshmallow and a pillow, you know? So I think it's just going to be a phenomenal game to watch. I'm going to watch it because I think there's just going to be some funny memes from it, because especially too if Desmond Ridder is going to be the quarterback back there. So it will be interesting to watch with Aiden O'Connell if he's able to come back, because he just has the bruised knee, which glad it wasn't much worse. So if he comes back, there is going to be more consistency at the quarterback position for the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm going to be curious just how big of an impact that has on the game. So, and when it comes to our season-long competition, I'm up 9 overall games right now. So with this tough matchup to pick between these two legendary teams, I'll go first to give you the option if you want to disagree and put another one out there. So for me, I do think that this Raiders defense is just going to be able to stop the Jags more.
You jerk.
So I'm sorry. So I guess you could have that one. I guess I should have given you the option first so you could pick.
Well, I was going to pick the Raiders for the sole purpose of I just need them to win for the Patriots to get a better
sorry. I didn't even think about that at all.
No, I was going with them.
For your biased opinion and my analytical opinion, I think the Raiders defense is better. I think they're going to be able to provide more pressure to a offensive line that is very weak. And I know they put up 25 points on this Jets defense, because there's still good talent on there. But I think it's going to be a little bit tougher to go and travel and then have the same type of performance. And at the same time, too, I think the Raiders can produce a little bit more offensively than what they faced tonight, which was actually a pretty aggressive Atlanta Falcons team. So I'm going to go with the Raiders here. And so I guess now you want your Patriots.
I'm also going to go with the Raiders. I have more of a reason than just it helps my Patriots. But look at it, I don't think this Jets defense is as good. It's been on a decline throughout the season, especially after Robert Saleh was fired. But this Jags team is just, especially with Mac Jones under center, is just not good. They found a little bit of luck this past week, but then they put up the week before that they put up 20, then 6, then 7 against in their last. Or I'm sorry. They put up 25, then 6 or 10 in the game against the Titans, then 20 in the game against the Texans week before that. Before that, they put up 6 against the Lions, and then before that, they put up 7 against the Vikings there. So, not saying it's going to be a high-scoring game. I do think that they will have a better performance this week. I just think with Aiden O'Connell back, I expect Mac Jones to make at least 1 or 2 bonehead. Yeah. And if Aiden, I'm taking them whether Desmond Ridder plays or Aiden O'Connell plays, but if Aiden O'Connell comes back, I especially have more faith in this Raiders team to just be the better team. Yeah. And defensively, it's not even close. The Raiders are far superior on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. What I'm cracking up the most about this, and kind of my final thought, is typically we do a score prediction. Not all the time, but like you kind of get a general feel of like what the score is going to game. I have no idea. This could be a 6-3 game. This could be a 35-31 game. I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning more towards 6-3. I think it'll be close, and like the Jags could win a close one. I do feel like the Raiders have the chance to like blow them out, especially like Mac Jones throws a pick 6 early. Like Raiders come out, they can run the ball because this Jags defense, like you said, it's between a pillow and a marshmallow. Yeah. Like I when you were talking about their defense, I just pictured the sports science of how much force a running back generates. This is like from like 15 years ago, but they like put the door up and the running back runs through the door and he just completely obliterates like the crappy wood that the doors are made out of. So like that's just what I envisioned this Jags running defense being like. But I just think the Raiders are the better team. I could see this being like a 24-7 game for the Raiders.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
So I don't know. This is going to be a really crappy game. We will have this on our multi-view with some of the other 4:00 games that will be going on. I believe the Patriots and Bills will be on at that time. So that'll be another really unfun game to watch.
That's where we can watch good football by the Bills.
Well, yeah, by the Bills, yeah. Well, so let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this toilet bowl matchup of Week 16. Will it be the Jacksonville Jaguars? Will it be the Las Vegas Raiders? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.